What's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448, and today's video I want to talk about Microsoft and what they're doing at Gamescom, and I also want to talk about a certain limited edition console. I want to put this in proper perspective, guys. For people who know me, who follow me, you know I started my job doing second shift, so basically I'm working 5 to midnight Monday through Thursday. I won't work on Friday because I need to be a part of the Crossfire podcast. My boy Mooch, man. So I let them know I can't do Friday. They're completely cool with that. But so I get home around midnight. You know, I work a very physical job. I get home around midnight. I'm tired. I eat something. I try to play a little something, and then I go to bed. This morning I woke up and grabbed my coffee. I was on Twitter, go on Twitter, and the first thing I see is a story about Gamescom and how Microsoft, basically, they're not doing a conference at Gamescom this year. They're going to be there. They're going to be there with their booth, different games, stuff like that. Even Aaron Greenberg said that they're going to do a fan fest over there, and they kind of learned from what happened at E3 this year. So it's kind of like a revamped fan fest, and they're doing it at Gamescom, which is really cool. My whole thing is about the conference. If you guys remember last year, Sony didn't really have a presence at Gamescom. I think they were out on the floor, kind of like what Microsoft is doing now. They were on the floor, but they don't really have a conference. And Sony decided to show more stuff at the Paris Game Conference, which I never heard of until last year. So it looks like what Sony was trying to do is they were trying to own a conference that was already there, and they decided to go and do it at Paris. Now, I think this left the door open for Microsoft to kind of take over a well-established gaming conference like Gamescom, and do a conference there and kind of have it as like an unofficial place to hear what Microsoft is doing with the Xbox. And I thought they could really own this, and have the name Gamescom there. It's an established conference. But it doesn't seem like Microsoft is doing that, guys. It seems that they're not doing a conference this year, so they're basically going the way of Sony. But Sony has that whole Paris thing that they try to own on that side. So with Microsoft not doing a conference, I believe they kind of dropped the ball in this aspect. They kind of missed an opportunity. I think they could have really grabbed onto Gamescom and almost made it like that unofficial place for Xbox news. I know a lot of people want to hear about future titles, and at E3 this year they focused more on titles coming relatively soon, and that's a good thing as well, but I think there needs to be a balance. So if you're going to do E3 with titles coming soon, then it would have made sense to me to do that Gamescom, with titles coming in the future. All right, and like I said, they could have made it their own, but that's my opinion. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on this. I want to know what you guys think. I also think this might be one of those first steps into possibly getting like a Microsoft show, kind of like what Sony does with the PlayStation experience. This could be a couple of the first steps to really have that Xbox experience type show from Microsoft. I tweeted out to Aaron Greenberg, I tweeted out to Phil Spencer. I'm waiting to see about an answer, if that's something they're kind of like mulling over or deciding whether or not they're going to do. But if it's in the works, if it's in any type of planning, so I'll let you know what they say about that. But let's move on to the next thing, because I read this kind of sad news, this kind of disappointing news, and then a couple tweets down I see something about a limited edition Gears Xbox One S, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like they actually listened to the consumers on this. I know there was a lot of people talking about if they make a limited edition Gears console, that these people are going to pick it up day one. And it seems that is the case. I mean, I've seen proposed like box art. I've seen what the console may look like. And the thing is, I don't think Microsoft has officially said anything yet, but I'm getting these tweets from like Jez Corden over at Windows Central and stuff like that. So people within the gaming media that I trust, that I know they're not going to spin stuff and stuff like that. So this is pretty much a done deal. And my wife, O Snaps, you know, from the next podcast, absolutely excited about this. You know, I text messaged her a picture of the box art and stuff like that, and she was like, "Can we pre-order it now?" So that's pretty much going to be her console, I'm guessing, which is cool. That means we're going to have that limited edition Gears console in our house, and that kind of solidifies the fact that for my own personal console, I might be waiting on the Scorpio. Our oldest son is going to have, you know, the 2 terabyte 1S, the Robo White one. O Snaps is going to have the Gears limited edition, and I think I'm probably going to wait because I have the Elite console. I'm probably going to wait until the Scorpio comes out, and then I'll pick that one up. But it's pretty cool. With having 3 consoles in the house, you're pretty much guaranteed 3 unboxings. So that's pretty awesome. I'm trying to figure out, you know, the ways and means to do all 3 unboxings. And possibly if it's O Snap's console, if it's my son's console, either having them like in the unboxing with me and then kind of like sharing the video or something like that. But it's really cool. Like I said, it seems like Microsoft has really broken down that wall between the corporation and the consumer, and they are really listening to us. But as usual, guys, if you like the gameplay, you like the topics, definitely hit that thumbs up button for me. Definitely hit up the comments section. I want to know what you guys think about, you know, Microsoft skipping out on Gamescom in terms of a conference. And what do you think about the limited edition Gears 1S? And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. But as for now, this is the Xbot 448. And I am definitely signing off.